Hola, bienvenidos to another breakdown, and this time it's over a song called Bit Crusher from my latest EP called Limelight, and it's relatively short. I mean, it is pretty short actually, but probably my favorite song out of the EP. And I'm going to show you how I started off with the melody, and then what type of instruments and effects I used, and then how it kind of fleshed out all the way up to the end to adding vocals. So what I started off with is the Beauty Harp from Analog Lab 5. Also, this whole song I pretty much used the plugin Analog Lab 5 and all like these different types of instruments from that plugin. So if you're curious about the types of plugins that I use, for the most part, just for instruments, I'm pretty sure I just used all Analog Lab 5. And so let's see, on the Beauty Harp here, I just had an EQ 8 with the highs and lows cut off. Sound kind of muffled out, but here, take a listen. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the main melody for the whole song. Repeats for the next couple, I think 8 bars or so. Oh no, yeah, 8 bars. And no, it's pretty simple. I mean, I wanted it like an underground, like dark trap type of vibe. By the way, on Analog Lab 5, there's a bunch of other presets for effects. So the Beauty Harp here has like a bunch of other things. I didn't really mess with any of these like effects for any of the instruments. Like you can change the brightness and all of that, add reverb, but I'm pretty sure I didn't really mess with any of them. What I did from here was just layer it more. It's the same melody, but just different instruments. So what I did next was add this. This is a 6-string pluck, I believe. Yes, 6-string pluck. And do I have it in here? Let me see. Yeah, it's right here. Yeah, 6-string. And on this one, I just EQ utility to lower the gain, and I took out a lot of the lows and a little bit of the highs. Let's take a listen. All right. Okay, yeah. So it's just some layering to get some more, just to fill the space up. And then from there, I added this 80s high guitar arp. So this guitar arp, yeah, it's pretty interesting. I wanted more movement out of the melody, so that's why I wanted an arp. So just here, let's take a listen. Right? So again, EQ 8 just took out some of the highs and lows. And this ARP, I really like this because it just added more movement. It gave it a little bit more like interest. And then from there, what I did was add a piano. And again, Analog Lab 5. And this is the Black Forest piano. Do I have it? Yeah. Black Forest cinematic piano. Mood of isolation and mystery. Oh, lovely. But this is probably one of my favorite instruments from this plugin. It sounds great. Like, let's see if I can. Yeah. Can't really hear it, but let's listen to it with the wrist. Like right? Like you see what I'm saying? Like listen to this. Like that piano just sounds amazing. Also on this one I added a velocity. A velocity effect, MIDI effect to kind of dampen the velocity of each note and kind of give it a softer sound. and from there I added an EQ, took out a lot of the highs and lows, and having a compressor. I believe the compressor comes on whenever the drums come on, because I have it sidechain to the drums, just to give a little kick sidechain action going on, you know. But yeah, so that's the melody all together. And from there I added a flute, which is not an actual flute apparently. I thought it was a flute, but it's dynamic voices from Analog 5. Where do I have it on here? So dynamic voices, yep. It's a synth choir. Okay, but let's listen to that. Here, I'll listen to it individually. Right, okay. So this was really just for like the ambiance type of feel, to get something else in the background. Okay, so now let's put it in with the rest of the melody. Right, so you see what I'm saying? It just gives that, it pushes the flute sound is kind of off into the sides if you're listening to this on like a headset or earbuds, and it just fills up the space even more with something just a little more, like giving a little bit more ambiance to the track. Okay, then next we have this bass, which is also Analog Lab 5, of course. Oh wait, oh yeah, the flute or the voices, yeah, just EQ8, taking a lot of lows out, compressor sidechain to the drums. And then, okay, so let's go back to the bass. We can listen to the bass individually. Right, nothing crazy, right? Nothing too overwhelming. But this is Analog Lab 5, and it's a drum and bass split instrument. It's just I believe it's like an 808. I think that's just a regular 808. Right. So, yep, on here I just have an EQ8, taking out some of the highs, and another sidechain compressor, an amp for the bass, just to give it a little bit more power to it. Okay, yeah, shifter. Oh, mono, a limiter over here, and then let's add that back in to the rest of the track. Right, okay. Now the drums. Yeah, Analog Lab 5, 606 Subtle Kit. I believe we get a Pro Q3, which is just an EQ, a fancy EQ from Fab Filters. And this EQ8 right here, I cut it all off to give the drums a little more. Well, I wanted them to sound muffled out, kinda. And we added a drum bus. Oh, I love drum bus. It just adds so much to drums. Like, it just gives it so much power. Like, let's take a listen to it. Right? This is all mono, by the way. Let's see. Let's take the drum bus out. Right? But let's add it back in. like, oh, I don't know what kind of magic that's doing there, but it's incredible. And I love the drum bus. But yeah, this is pretty simple rhythm here. Nothing crazy. Just hi-hats, snare, and kick. Okay, well, let's add it all together. Start it from the beginning. Yeah, but I mean, from there, pretty much, I mean, it doesn't really repeat, but doesn't get too much, like, it doesn't get too different from that point, other than me just cutting out a few instruments here and there. So, okay, that was just the instrumental, all right? Like, that was the first step of this whole thing. And once I had all of this together, I was like, well, I don't know what to do with it. So I messed around with it some more, and I decided to resample the instrumental. Yeah, okay, so let's break this down. So what I started off with, I just resampled, nothing crazy, just resampled it, like resampled the instrumental into a different audio track. So, and then from here, I was like, all right, let me cut out some things. I'm gonna get this out. Got rid of the first part. Put the audio file onto a simpler instrument from Ableton. It's right here in the instrument section. And what you can do here is just, let's see. Let's listen to it first. Right, okay, so what I did here was put the audio right, put it in the simpler. I chose a certain section out of the sample, and I played 16th notes that they kind of repeat themselves on the simpler. Like, let's see, I'll show you. Because this gets broken up into different bars here. And what you can do is make this into, like, you can change this up into beats, transients, region, or like a manual type of like slice. So what I did here was I sliced it by beats, and the division is half notes, but I played it in 16th notes, or I put it in as 16th notes. So let me see if I can play this here. So I'm playing it on my keyboard, right? It just broke up the sample into half notes or half bars, right? Then from there I chose a note C2, right? And I just played it as 16 notes. And then I did an automation for the transposition. It changes, right? It transposes from -8 semitones. Right. But yeah, and then from there, okay, so by the way, yeah, this has a compressor, just a side chaining compressor for the drums. So I was like, that's cool. That's definitely going in there. I love using the simpler. And then from there, we just added back the original sample. By the way, the drums are the exact same thing pretty much. Yep. Just doubled, just layered, I mean. Oh, no, no, no. I separated the kick from the other. Oh, let's take it out of. Yeah. I separated the kick from the other track, but the drums are the exact same thing. So let's see. Let's hear it. Right. So that's the old sample or the old instrumental just playing through, and then right from there we come into. That's another one of my favorite parts. I don't know what this is. I didn't add that in, but I mean, this is just simple too. This is just a simple reverse. So let me reverse it back to the original sample. Right? But I just flipped it and we got. Right? Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like, just doing that, I love doing that. It adds so much. It is. I know it's probably overused a lot now, but I still think it's an incredible, like, just creative technique that anybody can do in any DAW or any recording studio. It's honestly, it's still. I think it's still pretty cool to do. Of course, don't like overuse it, right? But from there, like I said, the drums are the same. And the only thing different from there is that, I mean, this part right here, still the original sample. Getting the original sample. This is the only part that I added the reverse sample to. But like I said, to it, and they at the end here, again, everything's the same. At the end, I just bring back the simpler with the 16th notes playing. Yeah. Oh, I forgot the effects. So that's just a glitch. Like, well, it's not a glitch. Well, it is a glitch, but it's like an effects glitch that I thought just sounded cool to add in. I love using effects. Like, they add so much for transitions. Like, I just think it really just ties the song together. And right there, yeah, right here, I just had those weird glitch effects. I believe you can just get these from no, drums. It's from the drum section in Ableton. FX. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of. Yep. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things that you can use there. And let's see. I just added a reverb to that. Nothing else. Didn't even add a compressor. And over here we have like without that, it just sounds weird, right? Or is that just me? Maybe I am too. I don't know. I think though it does add a little bit of something to the song, to the track, or whatever you're making. Like it helps it push through, you know, instead of just. And oh yeah, at the end of here, I believe I just added a bleep and a pan flute. Yeah, just thought it sounded cool as an exit, you know. That was the final like instrumentals like take. then from there, I was just gonna release it as it was, nothing else. But then my good friend Tyork, I showed him the track, and he was like, "Let me try singing or rapping on it." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure, go ahead." And it was very last minute because yeah, I wasn't gonna put any vocals or anything else on the song. I wanted to put it out just the way it was, but it kind of just worked out, and he wanted to put something on it, so let's take a listen.
Love is both beautiful and menacing. I can't seem to get a fucking hold of anything. My emotions wet ghost, where's the cemetery? I need an open grave for the heart I'm burying.
Very short notice. We, I mean, we didn't really have the greatest recording setup, but we got it done. And what I did was just EQ8, took out a lot of the lows, and I did a telephone vocal EQ. That's a preset on Ableton, on the EQ set, or like the EQ drop down menu. I believe it's under one of these, but this takes out a lot of the lows. And it boosts certain frequencies to give it like that telephone vocal type of feel, because I wanted the vocals to sound like the whole song, the whole thing was sound like it's underground. Like if you imagine, or what I imagined was just muffled sounds, and I tried to make it sound as good as I possibly could. It's pretty difficult to get that to sound good, but I had fun with it. So yeah, telephone vocal, and then I added a chorus ensemble, which kind of just spreads out the vocal a little bit, and a phase flanger, or a phaser flanger. I forget that they kind of mix those two, and this also helps push the vocals to the sides, giving it a little bit of like that. You can kind of tell it's like panning left to right in your, either if you're wearing like headsets or like earbuds. And I get good old Pro C compressor. This is also another Fab Filter thing. Another Fab Filter compressor. And a Pro reverb from Fab Filters as well. The last part is just him saying okay. I don't know. You can barely hear it in the final cut, but just something that I liked. So yeah, that's Bit Crusher with featuring Tyork. Thanks so much for listening. Till next time.
My emotions wet ghost, where's the cemetery? I need an open grave for the heart I'm burying.